This is tutorial number 153, and it covers how to do advanced loft cuts within SOLIDWORKS. Now to start off, open up tutorial part number 153, which I've included on the DVD. Now, what we're going to be doing in this tutorial is much like the first two. We're going to be creating profiles to do a loft cut, but the difference in this one is we're also going to add a path for the profiles to follow, and that's going to be kind of like the advanced feature that we're going to include in here. So to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to make two profiles, and then we're going to connect them with one path. So let's click this face here, click rectangle, and let's look at it from the front, and just create a square. Doesn't matter about the shape or the dimensions. Click OK. Now let's click the other face here, and let's click rectangle, and let's look at it from the front and make the square exactly the same as the first one you made. Click OK. So now we have our two profiles. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach them. So let's click line, click this point here, and just keep going back and forth, just making like a little pattern to follow, and end it at that point there. Click OK. So now you have the path that it's going to follow. So you have the two profiles and the path. So now let's go. Let's click Insert, Cut, Loft. So let's click the two profiles, and you can see that they want to connect to each other to begin with. Now click the guide curve, click the curve, and you're going to see that they're going to follow the curve that we imposed on them. Now click OK, and you're going to see the cutout that it's going to give. Now by using this profile, we're able to manipulate exactly where it's going. So we can go back and let's edit the profile. So it's the fourth sketch here. Click Edit Sketch. And just by hand, just click on some and just move them around. Click OK. And you're going to see that it automatically adjusts what's going on with the two profiles within the cut. Now let's delete this cut. Let's delete sketch 4, and let's create a couple more rectangles on these three planes here that we still have. So click each plane and let's make another rectangle. Let's look at it from the front, and let's make a couple different designs now. Let's make a skinny one here. Click on the middle one. Click rectangle, and let's look at it from the front. And let's make one that's a little bit more thin. And let's just drag it across a bit. Click OK. And on the last one, let's click rectangle, look at it from the front, and let's do another thin one. Click OK. Now let's add our little profiles. So let's click line. Actually, this time let's click spline. And we'll click the top face there. And now let's connect some of these points and just add a bit of curves, a little bit of a curve to each of these. Sorry, I just messed up on there. So just make sure that you're connecting the same corner and that you're getting the red dot. Click OK. So now you have your path and you have all your profiles. So let's try this again. Let's go to Insert, click Cut, click Loft, and let's click all the profiles. And we have the path. Let's click OK. And now we've created our cutout there. Now if we go back into it to edit it, if you notice when I was playing around with it there, I only had the first two showing. You might have to go and take out the profile and then put it back in sometimes just to get the right curve, just because sometimes the feature, like this function here, is going to select things in the wrong order, and it might screw up what it's going to look like at the end. So something like the profile you might have, or sorry, the path, you might have to delete and then kind of put back in. All right. And then again, you're able to go back, you're able to change all the different profiles, all the different paths, and you're able to change your loft cut. So for an advanced loft cut, what I've kind of showed you is doing what we did in the last one with like the multiple lofts, having a bunch of different sections, but this time we've just introduced a path for them to follow. So rather than the natural path that they would have followed, you're kind of imposing a path on them and they'll follow that path. And that concludes our tutorial on advanced loft cuts within SOLIDWORKS.